Hey everybody, I'm Jacob Castro and welcome to another video here on Jacob's Aquarium. Hope you guys are doing good and I hope your tanks are doing good as well. I'm coming to you today from the greenhouse here at Jacob's Nursery. It is very hot in here, so I'm going to try to make this video quick before I melt. It's about 90 degrees in the greenhouse and outside for some reason it's 75 degrees, so that doesn't make any sense. Actually, it makes perfect sense. It's the greenhouse effect, right? That's what a greenhouse is for, to keep things warm, right? I'm pretty sure, yeah. Okay, so let's make this quick so I don't melt like the Wicked Witch of the West. So today I have kind of like a plant guide for you guys and also an introduction to two new plants that I've never grown before and that will be available on my website, jacobsaquarium.com, starting today. So the two plants that I wanted to talk about today, the names are crazy, so I could not remember them, so I'm going to look at my iPhone and tell you the names of them. So the first plant is called Helenanthium quadricostatus. Hope I pronounced that correctly. The next one is called Potamegaton gayi, or I have no idea. Anyways, I'll put the names on the screen of those two plants right now so you guys can judge for yourself how you pronounce those names, and I'll also show you guys these two plants as well. So the first plant we're going to look at is the Helenanthium quadricostatus. Jeez, I mean, why can't they just come up with simple names like green plant? You know, that would have been a lot easier, right? So this is a rather unique plant. Like I said, I've never grown these plants before. I just recently discovered them, but they've been growing in the pond for about a month and they're doing extremely well. So as far as the research I've done and my own experience growing these plants, I will say right off the bat that both of them are more suited for a high-tech tank. And when I say high-tech, I mean high light, nutrient dosing, nutrient rich substrate, CO2 of course, and anything else that is fancy and, you know, in the advanced level in the Planet Tank world. I think I named everything, but I'm sure there's things that people use with their Planet Tanks and their high-tech tanks that I don't know about yet, some fancy new device, so I'll just say that. So that covers everything. So yeah, this first plant is really cool. I love the way it grows. It kind of reminds me of a sword plant, actually. It looks a little bit like a sword plant, but it doesn't get as big like a sword plant. And it kind of grows actually similar to a sword plant. But this plant is actually more of like a foreground carpeting plant, because as you can see, it's carpeted this little spot in Gigapond, and it looks so cool. I love the shape of the leaves. I love the way it grows, which by the way, it will produce runners, these very long stems that creep along the substrate, and then another plant will produce at the end of that runner after it grows a certain length, and then so on and so forth. But it doesn't like just spread out. It grows really compact and like just intertwines with itself, and it creates a really nice, you know, dense carpet. So in regards to this plant, the way it just grows just like that. It produces runners and it carpets and it looks fantastic. Now as far as this color, it's mostly green. I would say more of a light green color. Even with all the light that I have here in the greenhouse, it's still not turning dark green or any other dark color, as typically most plants do when they receive high light. The plant has remained a light green color, so I would say that if you grow this plant in a tank with really high light, you shouldn't expect it to change color at all or become darker green in color. It should stay a light green color, which is kind of rare for some aquarium plants, because like I said, usually when you put like a Loewigia dark red underneath the highlight, or you put Loewigia repens under highlight, or even some swords, they will develop this really deep dark green coloration or dark red coloration. But this plant, for some reason, it just doesn't. It stays a light green color. Alright, and the next plant I'm going to talk about is, let me look at my phone again, Potamegaton. It sounds like a Transformer name, doesn't it? Potamegaton, gay. This plant is by far one of my most favorite new plants that I have growing here in the pond, because When I first got it, it was super small. It really didn't look like much, but as it's grown in the pond and gotten bigger and bigger, which by the way, it's been growing pretty fast. So I'll just say right off the bat that this plant is a fast grower if you're growing it in a tank with CO2, high light, nutrients. You know, just like I said in the beginning of the video, these plants like a high-tech environment. This plant will just take off in your aquarium, and I love the fact that this plant grows really bushy. It produces all these stems in a really dense cluster, and the leaves are really long and skinny, and when they grow all intertwined with each other, it just looks so dense. So obviously this makes a perfect background plant. Of course, you can still use this as a foreground plant. You probably just have to trim it a lot and keep it, you know, at a certain length in your aquarium. But it'll grow dense, and I'm sure it'll make a great carpet plant as well. And which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. So the way this plant grows is similar to the first plant we talked about in this video. It produces runners as well, and pretty much grows the same way. So there's not too much to say that different about how that plant grows versus the first one we talked about. Pretty much the same. So as far as the color with this plant though, this is what I really like. This plant is mostly a velvety red with a little tint of green, a tiny tint of green. The color to me though is just so beautiful. Out of all the plants that I have growing here in Gigapond, I really have not seen this coloration before. I mean, I've seen dark reds, I've seen light reds, I've seen dark greens, I've seen a mix of dark green and red, but this color, I don't know why I'm saying this. Maybe it's just because I just have never seen this color before, like I said, but I've never seen this type of coloration. And this is what really drew me to this plant when I saw pictures of it on the internet, was just the color. So if you're looking for a really colorful plant, try this one out, because in my opinion, the reddish, greenish, you know, velvety color of this plant is just beautiful. And, you know, I can't really appreciate this plant as much as I could versus if it was grown in a planted tank, because I'm just looking at it in a pond. It's a little bit different, but in a planted tank, you know, looking at it from the side, I'm sure it would look even more awesome, because even from the top down, looking at it in the pond, it looks beautiful, you know. But when you see it at a different angle in a planted tank, I'm sure it'll look a lot better. So you'd really be able to appreciate it more than what you're seeing here in the video, and of course what I see every day when I look at the pond. So yeah, this plant, Potamegaton gayi, this transformer plant name, that's what I'm going to call this plant. I'm going to call this a transformer because the name just sounds like it, right? Potamegaton. I think it's that megaton, you know, that part of the name. This plant is just beautiful. It grows so lovely. It just grows so dense. So like I said, perfect background plant. And I really enjoyed growing it here in the pond because I've watched it get bigger and bigger. Like I said, I got it when it was just a little clump like this, and it's just grown and grown and grown, and it looks beautiful. So those are the two plants I wanted to talk about today in this video here on Jacob's Aquarium. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know this video may seem a little quick, but I'm making it quick so I don't melt in the greenhouse. Like I said, it's over 90 degrees and I'm already sweating. It's very hot. And I also have some work to do on the pond before I head on out of here. It's Sunday, so I'm not really supposed to be working today, but you know, when you're an entrepreneur, you own a business and everything like that, you're working nonstop, and I'm pretty much used to that though. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to check out jacobsaquarium.com if you want to purchase any of the plants that we talked about today. And also check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and wherever else I am on the internet. I will post links to all my social media pages in the description below. Okay? Have fun with your tanks, everybody, and stay tuned because I'm setting up a new 30-gallon planted tank, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to give me a lot of great opportunities to make some really awesome videos for you guys. And I'm not going to talk about the plants I'm growing in there yet because I want to save that as a surprise for the video. Okay, so stay tuned because I got a lot more stuff coming up here on Jacob's Aquarium. I love you guys so much. Have fun with your tanks, and I'll see you next time.